What's going on, everyone? So actually out for a walk. You know, the weather's actually starting to break and it's actually getting better. So wanted to walk and kind of have a unscripted conversation or share my thoughts kind of unscripted with you all. About my experience in corporate America over the last almost 18 years now, right? It's been about 18 years that I can kind of say I've been with one company, but kind of not, I guess. So the company that I started with was purchased from another company, back in, I believe, 2015. So I started my career in 2008, and the company that I worked for in 2008 was purchased by another company in 2015. And recently, the company that I worked for, I went over to the other division or the other brand, and the company split. The purchasing company ended up selling the company that they once purchased to a private equity company, I guess. And I ended up with the brand that originally purchased the company that I was once a part of. So, yeah, can kind of say I've been in two companies in the last 18 years, but really one company now with the other brand, which I'm grateful for the opportunity to be a part of the other brand. So my experience with the company, the first company, I guess I would talk about, that's the company I really want to talk about. My experience with that company was pretty good for the most part. I don't have anything bad really to say about that company, because that's the company that I grew in. That's the company I was developed in. That's the company started me on my path. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that I started off as an associate. I started off as an hourly associate. I actually got hired for the company as a team member before becoming a permanent associate for them and becoming a full-time associate for them. So yeah, was with that company for a while in an hourly role, and it was pretty good, right? I spent 4 years as an hourly associate before being developed by a really great mentor, and he helped me to grow and groomed me and prepared me for leadership. And then I started my leadership journey. So it's now been 14 years in leadership. And I remember when I got into leadership, I was super excited. I was excited about the opportunity, excited about the chance that was given to me, excited about the future that I was going to create for myself, for, at the time, my daughter. Yeah, I was just really excited. And yeah, the work began, it began there, as I would say. The work had already started, but a new type of work began for me. And for the next 2 years, I listened to everything my mentor said. I stayed focused, stayed locked in, and then eventually I got promoted again. And with this promotion came more responsibility. I was over one area with the first promotion, and the second promotion put me over multiple areas. It actually put me in a position of now leading leaders in associates. And this is where it kind of got a little, not going to say frustrating, but a little bit off-putting for me. I remember this, and this is probably one of my few bad memories of it. But I remember getting promoted, and when I got promoted, when the leaders or the other leaders that were above me at the time started saying, hey, Tyrone's ready for promotion, there was this other leader that I worked with who was the same race as me. He was African American, he was black like me. And a lot of the leaders really didn't like him. And for me, I'll be honest, I don't care about race. Like, I can care less about race. I can care less about sex. The job is the job. We all come here to do a job. We come here to provide for our families. We come here to provide for our loved ones. So just do your job. That was always my philosophy and my mindset. Care less about race, can care less about anything like that. But I will say that that's when I started to really understand the impact of it in corporate America. So what ends up happening is I remember two leaders of a different race came to me and they were talking to me, and people would always say subliminal joking stuff and I would always brush it off. But this time it kind of hit me and it kind of stuck with me. The two leaders that came to me of the different race, they came to me and they were talking about the other leader that was the same race as me. Just being honest, it was very few black guys, African American guys in that position or in position of leadership in this build. But the two leaders came to me and they made a comment and they basically said, man, you're ready for the next level. We're glad that you're ready for the next level. You're going to be real good. And with you going into the role, hopefully they'll get rid of this other guy, the other black guy, because he's no good at the job. And that you're a good one. And that kind of caught me off guard because it's like, what does that mean? I'm a good one. That bothered me a lot. But me, I've always been the type of person that I would just deal with stuff. I would just bury it away. I wouldn't talk about it. I wouldn't go tell, or I wasn't the tattletale type person. Even though it was said and it bothered me, it was like, whatever. And the reason I'm talking about it now is because, honestly, this type of stuff does happen. This type of stuff happened. And as frustrating as it is, I honestly am more frustrated at myself because I never spoke up about it. I never spoke up about it because more so of this fear of not wanting my own career to be impacted because I said something or I told on somebody or I brought some issue up on somebody of the other race. For me, again, I don't care about that stuff, but that stuff does happen. And honestly, it shouldn't happen. It really shouldn't happen. I truly feel like regardless of your race, your age, your sex, you should be respected and accepted because of what you bring to the table and what you can do. And it have nothing to do with your race. There was another time, or there were other times where I worked for a boss with the same company. And I'll be honest, I covered and I protected for my boss for a while because of a fear, right? I don't like using the word, so I'm not going to say it. But my boss would go on N-word rants. He would basically call black people the N-word. And he felt like he could do it around me and like he was comfortable with doing it around me because his brother was black. His brother-in-law was black. And he said him and his brother-in-law joked and talked about it, so he felt like he was okay to do it around me. And I'll be honest, I've never spoke about this and it's always bothered me. Eventually my boss ended up getting fired for it. He said something like that, but there was somebody else around and that person spoke up. That person caused them to lose their job. For me, I've never been the type of person that I want somebody to lose their job, but I guess it's understandable. Recently, I had a leader come to me and tell me that they feel like other leaders don't respect them because they're a female. And I'll be honest, I had to speak up this time. Not in a way of telling on them or anything like that, but in a way of correcting them. Because now I'm the person in the position that has that authority to correct them. I felt more comfortable doing it. But you can't just feel comfortable doing it because you're in a position of power. And that's what I really want to share with you all. You don't have to wait until you're in a position of power to tell somebody or correct somebody when they're wrong. It's actually more commendable to do it when you're not in a position of power. You know, your hard work is gonna pay off. You don't have to worry about your race or your sex, your age, anything like that. Your hard work is gonna pay off because of the effort that you put in and because of the voice that you have. So what I would challenge anybody to do, any and everybody that's in a position of leadership, in a position of any type of work, I would challenge you to find your voice. I'm still trying to find my voice, if I'm being honest. I haven't found it yet, but I'm on the path to find it. It sucks it took me this long to really get to the place where I'm getting comfortable with being comfortable in my own skin. So yeah, definitely make sure that you focus on constantly learning, growing, and speaking up. You do that, and you'll constantly grow. You'll constantly evolve. With that being said, later.